Well, greetings friends, and welcome to this special bonus episode looking at the Commander themselves. I realise that I refer to the standard Commander size quite a lot in these films, but haven't really had a chance to properly look at her and see exactly what's going on with the scale and whether those things on her back actually connect and various other stuff. So let's get in there. Alright, so here we are in the back of the Alliance Crusader, a little bit of a preview about what's coming up. One of these videos will focus on this thing very shortly. But here we are in the back with Commander Headful over here, and we'll have a close look at her outfit and what's actually going on with the scale of things. I promise not to make this too pervy, Commander. So first of all, you can see that the head is very nicely detailed, the hair is very well done. Her head is right here in terms of space of where I'm actually moving. You can even see a quick little hairline there, and it's all done extremely well. Now I have stuck my head into the Commander's head before, so let me do that because it's freaky as all get out. So there you are. That's a big scary mess in there, but we'll get out of there again. Sorry about that, Commander. In terms of the vest, she is wearing a aftermarket vest that I purchased through the store, so let's get rid of that for a sec. Okay, so here we are back with the normal flight suit. I believe this is one that I purchased as well, but wanted to run through the scale of some of these things. So I think the height of the Commander is pretty good. She's about 6 feet tall. I'm just slightly floating off the floor, so that's why it looks like I'm a little bit taller than where she's standing at the moment. But I think when we start getting to the arms and stuff, this is where it starts to fall apart. So the humerus part of her forearm is the right length, the forearm is the right length, but when it gets down to the hands, they are quite small. So they're about the size of a maybe 12-year-old's hands, as I've said before. So which doesn't really make too much of a difference when she's just standing there, but when she's actually sitting there with her hands on the throttle and the stick. I'm trying very hard not to make innuendo jokes here, so bear with me. The hands do look small. They look much smaller than what they actually should be in real life. And the male Commander is the same as the female Commander in terms of the size of the hands. And to be honest, the rest of the proportions on the rest of the body actually look fine. So the feet are about a size 10, which is a little bit sort of incongruous with the rest of the size of the Commander. These look like normal human-sized feet, in fact, probably a little bit too large for the rest of her body. Cool bit of knee sort of detail or armor there, and these two-tone suits which sort of have like an interior, maybe thermal layer, and obviously exterior, some sort of perhaps armor or plastic polycarbonate. I don't really know what's going on there. I really like the back detailing here with these lights. You don't really get that close to these in any other format. So there's lights on the back of her here down the spine and also on the rear of the shoulder pads here. And here you have these 4 maybe vents or connectors to something. They look quite small, actually. They're probably the size of a dime or a penny or a very small coin, effectively. And, you know, to be even more weird, if I shove my head through the Commander, you can just see that obviously she's hollow on the inside. Now, in terms of the male Commander, it's much of a muchness in terms of the scale and the things that are right and wrong. For some reason, he's standing here like this, not with his hands on his hips, but there you go. In actual fact, I would say that if anything, the male Commander's head is slightly too small, which may just be the head that I've selected for this guy. Not really sure, but the rest of the torso looks okay. I would say he would probably wear a small to medium size vest or jacket, so that gives you an idea of the sort of width of his torso and his shoulders. And in terms of the hands, yeah, unfortunately they are again the same tiny hand size as with the female Commanders. And the feet are identical in terms of size, so there would probably be, again, about a size 10. And there we are with my head shoved directly into the Commander's face. So I'm currently wearing his sunglasses, which obviously are doing a bit of reflecty kind of gear, but that's about it. Bit of a freak show, as with the other one. Now, in terms of the helmet, it does look sort of like a plasticky polycarbonate kind of helmet. You can see that underneath she is wearing some sort of a headpiece. It's probably hard for you guys to see. I'm trying to get as close as I can, but the reflections as well as the Commander are a bit janky, so I'm just trying to see how far that hood goes. So you can see it goes down to the base of her neck there. Yep. And you can see that the helmet is trying desperately to reflect everything on the outside. Okay, this is a freak show. Now, if I actually was wearing the helmet myself, that is what I would see. So it would be obviously fairly reflective and kind of a bit janky, but there you go. And one thing that always surprised me is the underside of this helmet, whether it's glass or what it is. And yes, you can see that the glass there continues on the inside or the underside of her chin. So that's another thing that you don't really get to see or confirm. Now over here you can obviously see the Remlock symbol and the little, I don't know, headphones or whatever you want to call them there, and a couple of extra little lights. On the other side there's also this earpiece, which you can obviously talk through. I'm trying to get in there so you can actually see the whole thing. Oh, there we go. It just sort of ends there, and it does actually seem like it's going into her ear. Now, mind you, I'm looking at this from about a centimetre away, so that's hurting my eye, and it's really hard to see, but I'm hoping to capture some of that in 2D for you. Alright, now if we look at the Commander as she's sitting down here in the chair, and I want to see if these plugs actually match up through the rear of the seat. And yeah, no. I mean, they're a good sort of 2 inches off for that outside one, about 1 inch for the middle one. That one is on, and that one is totally off. So, yeah, kind of, not really, a little bit, maybe, sort of, could be. Let's just imagine that it does, and we'll get on with our lives. Now, the hands, as mentioned before, are too small. In fact, in this view, it almost looks like the forearm is too short as well. For a female, I think it would be passable. Could be quite a small female. But for the male Commander, it doesn't really fit at all. In terms of hands interiors, there are no interiors of the hand. I know it sounds absurd, but there isn't. Of the joystick itself, there is no interior either. You can see there the shape and size of the trigger. And the second trigger, which just sort of ends there. Oh, super hard to see. And the throttle itself, you can see it has a thumbstick there on the side, and a couple of little other buttons and switches, and the slider for the throttle itself. And finally, in terms of the feet, they have no interior either. There is no foot on the inside, and that's about it. All right, friends, bit of a short one and a bit of a weird one, but I wanted to give you a real good impression about the size of the Commander and how it actually stacks up compared to everything else. She is convincingly 6 feet tall, as is the male one, which helps for when you're trying to judge sizes of the interiors of the ships. But other than that, the hands are too small, feet are okay, heads may be slightly on the small side depending on which type of Commander you get, but other than that, it's reasonably proper. But I will say that in VR, the hands will annoy you unless you have tiny hands, in which case they're perfect. Right, that's enough of that. I hope you enjoyed this short bonus video. Regular weekly schedule is running as per normal. I've noticed that only about 1% of people who watch these videos actually subscribe, so please don't be one of those people. Actually hit the subscribe button if you're enjoying this format in any way, shape or form, because that will really help me out. So that's all, just one little click from you makes a huge difference for me. Other than that, I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time. Fly safe, Commanders.